All right, what's going on, boys? We got a market recap today for February 26th, Thursday, and today was pretty frustrating just because of how much we expanded and no entry was provided for me. I wasn't able to take an entry and take advantage of this big move. Like, we literally moved 500 total points, but no trades for me. We'll get into what I was looking for coming into the market open. Um, this is what we looked like coming into the market open. I was slightly leaning bullish. Not gonna lie, because well, if we just I didn't screenshot the 1 hour. If we go to the 1 hour chart, you can see we had just inverted this 1 hour gap, potentially making our way higher. We had a new week opening gap above, and then buy side resting above as well. So my thoughts coming into the market open. um, Even though NQ took the daily buy side liquidity, we still have draws higher and the new day opening gap marked by these blue lines. ES was also pumping towards um, these highs up here and eventually all-time highs above. So like ES looked very, very bullish as well. So I'm bullish. We could still possibly touch the 4 hour gap on NQ. I also said this is my preferred outcome. I prefer these shorts off the open and then pump higher. We'll see what happens. And then right when the market opened, this is the 50-minute chart. You can see the market's been open for like 8 seconds. And this looked super, super clean to come down and tap the 4 hour gap. We had this low resistance liquidity. We had started to close strong candles right before the market opened, pre-market. And it looked like we were very clearly going to go touch that 4 hour gap, and that's exactly what happened. And unfortunately, there just wasn't. Um, we'll get into that in a second. Unfortunately, there just wasn't a pullback. This right here is the market open candle. Boom, very strong first candle of the market open. And then once this second candle closes like this, like we wick the low, we come up, and we just, like, there's just, ideally, the first candle opens, right? The second candle kind of like retraces a little bit, stalls out here. We then open up a gap, right? And then when the next candle opens, we tap the gap and start to go lower from it. This is a brutal drawing. But anyways, then you short something like this to the 4 hour gap and you play a stop like up here. That's ideally what I was looking for here. Or we displace down and kind of stall out and get a strong 5 minute candle close, and then you can, what I like to do is just limit order based off the 5 minute candle close. We didn't get that, and we just came up and took it we came down and took it without any sort of entry provided. You cannot reasonably take a short here, in my opinion. So that's unfortunate because the 4 hour gap became super, super obvious right when the market opened. So after that happens, we're then sitting in a 4 hour gap, and there's really nothing to target. We're sitting in these big bullish gaps. Ideally, I wanted to see us come tap the gap and then head higher, potentially fill this new day opening gap, and potentially take the buy side above. And we just kept falling and falling and falling through. And at this point in time, I'm sitting here, I'm like, what could we possibly target? And we have these hourly lows here, and it's also another 4 hour fair value gap. And I kind of regret, I really regret not taking this. This is something that once again, it's one of those where once we fall into this 4 hour gap, I'm kind of zoned out and not really expecting anything to play out. But then we kept falling and falling, and I'm like, where are we? Like, what are we doing? And I was like, okay, if we continue to move through this gap, we have these lows down here can potentially target. And this displacement candle right here sold it for me. And dude, I'm literally sitting here with my cursor hovered over the sell button. Like, do I sell? Do I sell? Keep zooming out to the higher time frame charts. We're in the higher time frame gap, but it's like we're displacing lower. And obviously, like, I should have entered this. The reason I hesitated is because this would be kind of shorting off the low, right? You're shorting off the lowest point in price where the candles are. Like, this is the lowest point that price is. Um, when in reality, like, I don't know, with the way that price was moving, right? It just became kind of obvious that we were going to continue to sell. And we had already had these little retraces, little retraces on the 1 minute chart. I kept zooming out to see if there was a high time frame gap that I could have gotten retraced on, and there really wasn't. There's this tiny 5 minute, but like I kept giving these 1 minute retraces down, 1 minute retrace, and then this displacement candle. Like I really debated on entering, and I just didn't. And in reality, shorting the low here would have been fine in my opinion. It's easy to say in hindsight now. Um, like when the next candle, when this candle opened and closed down here, like I immediately knew like that is on me. Like I missed this trade. We're probably not going to pull back, and I should have entered, and I really should have. Um, but in reality, what I was going to say is shorting the low here is reasonable because we have already had these retraces, right? It's not like there's these big gaps above. We've had these sufficient retraces. Then we get displacement confirming lower. Enter here, stop above the either this retrace or this retrace here. Um, because at this point in time, this displacement candle, it doesn't really make any sense to continue back higher. I don't know. It's one of those like it's not really A plus, but it's one of those where my intuition was kind of telling me to enter, even though it's not a textbook trade. So, um, yeah, this one's a little bit. It's just difficult to stomach because of how tough this week has been with two break evens and not much else after that. So this week has just been filled with potential opportunity that just hasn't played out for me. Whether it's the two break even trades, whether it's, yesterday there was really nothing to trade, right? But today, like, this was super, super clear. Today, like, being on the cusp of taking this winning trade and just not pulling the trigger, it's been a tough week. And that's just how price action, like, it's going to be tough when we're in a range. But unfortunately, the past 2 days we've moved sufficiently up and sufficiently down, and just haven't had great opportunity to take advantage of it. And so, yeah, man, that's the market recap. Um, Obviously, hopefully we just continue to displace lower, and we have all this generated low resistance sell side liquidity. So that's obviously what I'm going to be looking for. Um, Heading into tomorrow on Friday. I mean, we could potentially expand on Friday. Usually Fridays are either really good or really bad. But the weekly candle has done absolutely nothing this week. So it would make sense to expand on Friday, to end the week off, especially with how the charts are shaping up here. We came up and swept these highs again, which is kind of crazy. Um, and I don't know why these lines are so extended over here, but yeah, well, hopefully we just continue to sell off leading into the end of the week and get good shorts to end the week. If not, I'm not gonna force anything. Like the goal is just to have a non-red week at this point, right? So the goal was to either in the week break even or in the green tomorrow, and not let a tough week and the emotions of a tough week get the best of me, and lead into a red week for no reason, right? So it's been a tough week, slow week, bunch of missed opportunity and lack of opportunity as well. So yeah, you can probably tell in my tone. It's just trading sometimes though. So let me know if you were able to take anything, if you were able to capitalize off of these moves lower. This was the only potential like valid trade that I saw. Unfortunately, wasn't able to pull the trigger here. Um, for the reasons that I just went over. So let me know if you took a trade or not. Yeah, hopefully we get good price action tomorrow. So appreciate you watching. I will see you tomorrow in the market recap. Peace.